right, you guys, we're back. Okay, what I'm going to do is give my thoughts without the video playing because it just works out better that way. Okay, you guys? So, listen, you guys, I just wanted to come on here and just have a quick conversation with everybody about the simple fact that the case is now, it has been dismissed. All right, charges have been dropped against Jasmine. All right, you guys, from based off of what I saw, from what Jasmine said, she has to do some community service, some anger management. She said she came on here and did a shorter live and also mentioned that she has to donate to a food pantry or something like that. I mean, that was different. I never heard of anything like that. So, yeah, that's what Jasmine has to do. All right. I thought that was fairly interesting. But listen, what I do want to say is when this all initially popped off, my thoughts have always been it should have never made it that far. Meaning there should have never been any court hearings. Nobody should have been arrested or whatever. And I say that because it's always simply just been an internet beef. Okay. Words exchanged on the internet should not lead to people actually being arrested unless someone is being harmed or addresses are being exposed or things like that. Personal information is being exposed. I don't think that let me read what Ella Taylor says. Ella Taylor says, girl, bye, you can't drop the charges. The state couldn't get anything up on the complaints of a psychotic floor sleeping child support dodger. Okay. So yeah, you guys, I that's another topic that I wanted to get on as well. So let me get back to my first initial point. Okay, listen, it should have never got this far. No, Jasmine should have never been arrested because of words being exchanged on the internet. Okay, Olivia pretty much started with Jasmine. Jasmine was under the impression that they were really good friends at one point in time, which is unfortunate for her. She thought that they were really good friends until Liv came on the internet and exposed her business, exposed what was going on in her household with her and Chris. All right. And then that's when things fell apart. Now, how they got to the point where they were both up here on the internet screaming and hollering and Jasmine was, making threats because she did do that. I'm not exactly sure. I don't even remember how that happened. But the bottom line is this. It was just words exchanged on the internet. Olivia provoked Jasmine. Jasmine she has no emotional stability. She's very immature. Okay, so she popped off. She got on the internet and she said a whole bunch of things she probably shouldn't have said. However, it still didn't warrant, her being arrested and things like that. So the other thing is Olivia is saying that, people should thank her because she dropped the charges. Okay. Which is something else that I think is crazy because we all know that Olivia did not drop the charges. All right. That's not the case. Just like Ella Taylor just said, what'd she say? She said, you can't drop the charges. The state couldn't get anything up on the complaints. All right. So it basically was nobody was harmed, essentially. Okay. It was just words exchanged on the internet. And that does not, a person shouldn't get a felony just because they said some things. All right. I mean, Jasmine could have also shown the courts how Olivia was on here saying things about her and say that she was provoked or whatever the case may be. I just think that this situation was not that serious at all for it to even get to this point. That's my opinion on that. All right. And so another thing I wanted to say is I hope that this situation was a learning experience for Jasmine. All right. But I don't know if she's learned much. It seems like, in my opinion, right now, Jasmine is looking to have some sort of a back and forth with Olivia right now, okay, because it was addressed already. Then Olivia came on here, said her piece. As soon as Olivia gets done, Jasmine goes back live, says a little bit more. Olivia came back on here, said a little bit of nothing. Jasmine got back on and started bringing up some other stuff. So it seems like Jasmine's fishing for some sort of views. If I was Jasmine, I would not want to have any sort of interaction at all with Olivia. I would be done with the bitch. I'm sorry. If I have to go to jail, all right, no. Because it's clear that you can't have a regular internet drama with the bitch. She's going to take it way too far. That would be it for me if I were Jasmine. Hey Teresa. Ella Taylor says, I thought she was that bitch. That kind of bitch isn't screaming to the police over words, right? So Olivia gets on here and she acts as if she's tough, but we all know that that's not the case. Because if Olivia was tough, if Olivia, listen, if Olivia had anything in her at all, she would not have allowed another woman to get in her face and antagonize her in the mall in front of her kids. I'm sorry. I would have. I mean, obviously Olivia is not about it. Okay. So she already let the people know that she is going to go to the police. That's just what she does. Okay. Olivia is a cop caller. And unfortunately, Jasmine had to be, the example. So now everybody knows that Olivia will, in fact, call the police, make reports, and try to get you arrested if she can. All right, so now we know that. Well, all I'm saying is, I hope that this will be like a learning experience for Jasmine. I would hope that Jasmine would not be willing to entertain any sort of an argument with Olivia at this point in time because, you know, she should know that Olivia is going to take it too far. And also, I do just believe that Jasmine was just an easy target for Olivia. Jasmine is easily provoked. Um, a lot of women then came on here and had arguments with Olivia, but none of them got on here and threatened to unalive her on camera. Nobody said anything of that nature, so that's all I have to say on that. Jasmine was definitely an easy target. Hey, Cancer 66. But yeah, I really don't, it's really not too much more to be said outside of that, but I did just want to come on here and have a quick chat with you guys because to me, in my opinion, this shit is old. And Jasmine, what she's going to do right now is try to capitalize off of it and keep talking about it. I mean, I'm glad that the lady is not going to have to do any time or have anything on her record because at the end of the day, she is a single mother of 5 children. Okay. I don't want to see anybody in jail. I don't think she should have ever had to go to jail to begin with. So congratulations to Jasmine for having the charges dropped or whatever the fuck happened in court. Charges dropped, whatever it was. Congratulations to her on for that. However, I just feel like it was weird for Olivia to come on here and act as if, she had anything to do with it. Because in my opinion, if Olivia could have sent all I'm saying is, as evil as Olivia is, if she would have had the ability to really make an example out of Jasmine and have her go to jail, she would have done that. But that wasn't the case. And I said from the beginning when this first happened that I don't think that it's going to go that far. I said in the beginning, I also thought that, the charges were going to be dropped just because it's not that serious. Nobody was actually harmed. They both came on here and antagonized each other on the internet. In my opinion, both of the women were wrong. However, Olivia was just more so in the wrong, in my opinion, because she did not leave it at just the internet beef. She turned it into something that it did not need to be, which was, criminal charges and court cases. That was unnecessary. So that's pretty much my opinion on the whole situation. And that's just what it is. Okay. So I hope Jasmine learned from this. Okay. That's all I have to say. I hope Jasmine learned from this. And I hope that she does not engage in any more arguments or anything with Olivia or anyone for that matter. Like, why is it that these women can't just be entertaining without the drama? Why does that have to happen? All of that shit was completely unnecessary. All that talking about each other's kids. Olivia came on here and she did. You know what? She did the absolute most. I don't think Jasmine ever really talked about Olivia's kids, but Olivia came on here and accused Jasmine's ex of SAing her children. All right. She told their business as far as all the, the fights and stuff that her and Chris was having. She did a lot. She said that, Jasmine was asking for money and doing all that. It was crazy. So I think that it's sad that Jasmine, had to be the example. And she chose Jasmine because she knows Jasmine's a little slow. But I do hope that Jasmine has learned from this. And I hope that Jasmine does not decide to get involved in any sort of back and forth with Olivia. But like I said, based off of what I've been seeing so far, okay, with every time Olivia goes live, Jasmine's been going live. It seems like Jasmine didn't really learn. Like, hey, girl, just speak your piece about what happened, okay, in court. You can tell that story, but what we're not going to do is do a back and forth with Olivia because you already know how she can get. I don't understand why. It's just given that to me. Like, she still hasn't learned anything. But anyway, I'm going to read what you guys said real quick. Twine Bug says, I still think Jazz knows a lot more about Liv, but isn't saying anything. Liv is a clown. I agree with that. I do think Jasmine knows a lot more about Liv. I don't know why Jasmine even spared Liv when it comes to other things, but apparently she wants to tread lightly because it might be more things that Olivia knows about Jasmine as well. You know, I think that Olivia was smart enough not to tell Jasmine too much. All right, but she told her enough to make Jasmine feel comfortable enough to tell her everything. Okay, Jasmine was calling Olivia in the middle of the fights that her and Chris was having. So unfortunately, I think Jasmine probably does know more, but I think Olivia knows more about Jasmine than Jasmine knows about Liv. Okay. Ella Teller says there is a common law principle called contributory negligence, as in that if you spend 8 hours a day and they come for you, it's your own damn fault. Wait a minute. You spend 8 hours a day and you come for you, it's your own damn fault. What do you mean if you spend 8 hours? 8 hours a day doing what? Ella. Hey, Everyday Life with Taboo. Everyday Life says using the judicial system to punish someone you were never truly threatened by, but didn't call the police on Gerard when he pulled the gun on her. Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, Jasmine was just an easy target for Liv. I think that that's all this was about. Okay. That's all it was about. Olivia knows that Jasmine was never a threat to her. Jasmine was never going to travel to Olivia and attack her or do anything. And if she did, it is what it is. Olivia told her how many times to pull up. Okay. Olivia antagonized her. She definitely caused Jasmine to go off. I think that both the ladies were wrong, but I do think Olivia was wronger. Okay, that's just my opinion. Jasmine was never coming to harm her. Everyday Life also says Olivia is the type to collect evidence on friends to use against them when they fall out. Exactly. And that's exactly what she did to Jasmine. Like I said, Twan Bug said Jazz knows more about Olivia. She probably does. But like I said, I believe that Olivia told Jasmine little things here and there, just enough to make Jasmine think that they were really friends so that Jasmine would feel comfortable to really spill all her tea to Olivia. And that's exactly what happened. I'm quite sure Olivia was smart enough not to tell Jasmine everything that she had going on. She just told her a tad bit. And Jasmine wound up telling her everything because Jasmine is slow. All right. And Olivia, being the type of person that she is, that's what she does to everybody around her. She just, she acts as if she's there for you. She wants to act as if she's a good person, like she's really a good friend, but she's not. The whole time that you guys are friends, or that she was friends with Jasmine, she was taking mental notes, screenshots, screen recordings, recording conversations when Jasmine calls her in the middle of a fight with Chris. She was doing all of that because she knew at some point in time she may have a fallout with Jasmine on the internet, and she could use that to bring her down. Like I said, Jasmine's an easy target. Ella Taylor says 8 hours a day annoying the crap out of people on the internet. On the internet, I meant. Oh, okay. Everyday Life with Taboo says she just wanted to hurt Jazz. I agree. When they were in the Mamiana gang, they all got too comfortable. They definitely did. They definitely did. I'm sorry. I just want to know what type of friends get together. I mean, I just don't have it in me. Okay, I can go out with my girlfriends or whatever, or a friend or whatever, and we can have a few drinks. We can have a good time. We can be ratchet. We can be fun. All that. But the fact that they was out there doing coke together is insane. The fact that they were all out there just catching bodies together is insane. Like, why did y'all have to do all that? They were definitely way too comfortable. Okay. And then shortly after all of those things happened, it all fell apart because what? Why? Because somebody came on the internet and told all the business. They told about the one night stands that was happening. They told about the coke. They told about everything. So that's their fault that they decided to get that comfortable with females that they initially met on the internet that they really didn't know. Idiots. But yeah, you guys, it's not much more to be said. Like I said, I think that the conversation surrounding the court case is pretty dry. I did initially want to come on here and react to what Olivia was saying because I was just baffled by the fact that she said the people should come and say thank you to her for dropping the charges. That was crazy to me. Um, but Jasmine was on here pretty much debunking or trying to clear up certain lies that Olivia told in her police report or whatever the case may be. Nobody cares about that because we all know that Olivia is a liar. We all know that Olivia probably did, add some sauce to it to get Jasmine arrested. We already know that. So that wasn't really interesting to me. Everyday Life says Chrissy, Jazz, and Liv are too male centered. Ming is the only one with girlfriends that she still hangs out with. I agree with you. Everything with these women is centered around men. Strong Mommy Chrissy's on here claiming that she's married to a doctor. She's always trying to flaunt the fact or flaunt it when she does have a man in her presence. Now she's on here saying that she's pregnant. I don't know what's up with that. I haven't even really been getting into that because who really gives a fuck if she's having her 10th baby? I mean, that just sounds exhausting. Okay? Like, aren't you tired? Aren't you ready to enjoy life? Why do you want to go back to changing diapers? I don't understand it. Jasmine is just desperate for love. She just still is madly in love with Chris, the man who never truly loved her, and that is unfortunate for Jazz. Olivia is definitely male centered. Olivia doesn't feel confident or validated or anything unless she has a man in between her legs, and it's just unfortunate for all of them. It is, in my opinion. Okay. I don't really know too much about Ming. I do understand that she's with a guy named Uriah that she's been with for years, and that's just been her man. So there's that. But the rest of these women, they can't seem to keep a man, and they can't seem to live life without one. And I really just don't understand that. What is wrong with focusing on bettering your life, your kids' lives, all right, and then, waiting, taking your time with bringing the man back around? You know, what's wrong with that? For some reason, these women just can't seem to do it. They just can't. Ella Teller says, if I was Jasmine now, I would sue Olivia for damages. I don't think Jasmine's going to do that. I don't think she's going to do it. Everyday Life says, I'm so annoyed with Chrissy telling the internet her daughter has an STD. Wait a minute, what? Oh my God, did she do that recently? I didn't know anything about that. See, that's what I'm saying. Some stuff is just not for the internet, y'all. Even her coming on here talking about the fact that her daughter was smoking weed and it went viral and all that. I mean, I just feel like certain things with the kids, it doesn't need to be shared with the people on the internet. It just really doesn't. Because you do the internet, not the children. The children don't need their business to be blasted every damn week. So I got to get into that. I need to find that video that you're talking about where she's talking about her daughter having an STD because that is completely absurd. She didn't want to come on here and talk about her possible STDs when people accused her of having one. So why would she feel comfortable enough to talk about her daughter having one? That's just so disgusting. Ella Teller says, wow, why would you do that to your kid? Exactly. You said Ming has been married for over 10 years and Olivia hates her and Uriah are still married. Okay, so basically Liv is jealous of Ming. Okay. And you said Chrissy did that recently. Like, girl, what the hell? You said Chrissy's too busy chasing men to keep her eyes on keeping your child safe. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand the fascination. You would think that after everything these women have been through with the men, that they would know that the main objective is to put themselves first and better their own lives before they even bring a man into the equation. All right, because when you have yourself together and you are truly in love with who you are and the life that you created for yourself, you're not going to allow somebody else to come in and mess up everything that you've built. And that's what these women need to focus on. Okay, I'm not saying be celibate for your whole life and F men completely. That's not what I'm saying. But that just shouldn't be the main focus, especially for Chrissy when she has way too much going on. Okay, 9 kids. I still don't even understand how the fuck she got there. Like, at what point did you, like, you didn't, once you got to 5 or 6, you didn't think, I need to calm down? Just, woo, because I just couldn't do it. I was talking to one of my coworkers about Strong Mommy Chrissy. I told her that there was a woman on YouTube. I know this is off topic, but I just wanted to say this because it's just crazy. Like, so I was telling her that there's another woman on here, a proud mommy of 13 or something, and then about Strong Mommy Chrissy. And I was just like, I don't even understand how these women got that far, because if you think about it, back to school comes, imagine having to buy 9 pairs of sneakers. 9 pairs, and do you really want you really want them to have at least 2 pairs? So that would be like 18 pairs of sneakers. Are you fucking kidding me? Then the uniforms or whatever the case may be, how many, 9 book bags, lunchbox, like, oh no, I just don't even understand how these women took it to that degree. It's just way too much. And now she's on here talking about having another one. Another one. Okay? And who knows if that's the truth. I don't know if I believe that or not. Do you believe in everyday life? You said, so what's up with Liv shading her sister online, basically saying she's been sending emails behind her back? Hmm. Did she? Now, I did see something very briefly about um, another reactor supposedly. I seen, well, first of all, Olivia posted screenshots of somebody sending her emails stating that her sister has been spilling her tea. Then there was something that I seen about a reactor being in communication with Olivia's sister. Okay, which I don't know if I believe that. I don't think. I mean, why would her sister come and talk to the people on the internet about Olivia, and Olivia's living in her house? That just seems a little far fetched to me. But I did not catch anything yet about Olivia shading her sister. Now that would be crazy, okay? Because that would mean that there is definitely a possibility that Raquel is running her mouth if Olivia is on here shading her sister. Um, Ella Teller says, I can't even barely afford 3 with a good job. I don't need any more mouths to feed. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell? Listen, I got 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. All right. And I was on the road. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. I was in love. Okay. I was on the road. My kids are fairly young. Okay. Let me just put it like that. They're stair steps. But when I tell you it got to once I had the last one, I was like, you know what? I got to stop here. This is it. Okay. I don't need no more. I got 2 boys, 2 girls. All right. This is it. I don't need no more. I can't manage anymore. Okay. So that's why I'm saying, like, at what point, like, when do they get to the point where they realize, this is beginning to be too much, especially if you're going to be the one that is solely responsible for the children. So it'd be different if these women were in actual marriages or relationships or whatever the case may be, where the men are sticking around. That makes the difference. Okay. When you don't have to do everything by yourself. But Strong Mommy Chrissy has been getting left by the men since the beginning of time, since she started having the children. None of them really stuck around, except for the husband that she had, and he didn't appear to be worth 2 shits. Okay, wasn't he unemployed the whole time? Like, he didn't appear to be worth nothing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point do you realize, maybe it's time to stop? Okay, just enjoy life with the babies that you have. Why do you want to keep having more? 9 kids is absolutely insane. The fuck? Like, no. No. Not if I got to do it alone. Absolutely not. Um, but let me go ahead and read this. Everyday Life says, I don't believe she is pregnant at all. Okay. Yeah, I don't either. She'd be a dummy to be pregnant again. I mean, but it's her body, her life. She got to take care of the baby, nobody else. But that's just my opinion. Like, shit, does she already got it? By how many pairs of shoes, how many outfits, how many book bags, how many plates she got to make? Like, girl, just stop. Shit. Why even add more stress to your life? Teresa says, I'm with you on that one. It truly blows my mind that you're even talking about having another kid when you already have 9. That's crazy to me. Right. The 10th child by a new man. Like, I would be sick of niggas at this point. Don't she got like 6, 7 baby daddies? I would be done. Okay, fuck around, turn gay. I don't know. Like it's no. If everybody just keep leaving and I just got to keep carrying the load by my damn self, absolutely not. I'm sorry. Everyday Life says, I honestly don't believe her and Raquel are even that close. She used to shade her all the time on YouTube. Oh, wow. Wow. You know what? Raquel probably has it in her mind that she's better than Liv. And so that might be the conflict that those two have. Because Raquel is married and she's had the same husband. She doesn't have multiple baby daddies. She's not promiscuous. So I think that they might be having, their relationship might struggle in that aspect because I'm quite sure Raquel looks down on Olivia in the way she carries herself at times. But I don't really, I find it hard to believe that Raquel would come on here and spill Liv's tea to reactors. You know, I just don't see it. Teresa says, somebody in my family would have made me stop before I got to 9 kids and then 8 baby daddies. That's insane. You said 8 baby daddies? Wow. 9 kids, 8 baby daddies is absolutely out of control. It can't be 8. It can't be 8 because don't the last 2 or 3 have the same dad? Can't be 8. Everyday Life says, what kind of sister slash daughter would even wish her mother and sister wouldn't even wish her mother and sister a happy Mother's Day? Yeah, that's out of line. She didn't do that because Olivia is selfish. She wasn't even able to celebrate Mother's Day at all because she didn't have her children. You want to know why? Because she was brokenhearted over a man. So she said F her mother, F her sister, and F the kids. She didn't even go pick them up. She wasn't worried about saying Happy Mother's Day to them. You said 9 kids, 6 baby daddies, and a Tesla. Girl, you need a minibus. So that's what I'm saying. You can't even take all your kids out at the same time. The fuck? I was fighting it for the longest time to get a minivan. I did not want to get a minivan. I did not. But then once I hit 4, I had no choice. 9 kids, you can't even get a minivan. That's not even a sufficient amount of space. You need a bus for real. A Tesla. See, Chrissy, she has a cute little aesthetic. Okay, she likes to make it look like she's living, she's living great. She has the best of the best, despite her having so many different, so many children by so many different men. She wants it to appear as though she's living great over there. Okay, but the bottom line is this: you can't be doing that good. Now, I can understand if you had a Tesla and a big ass truck to carry all the kids, all right, but you just got the Tesla, so y'all obviously not going out together all at the same time often. So that tells me all I need to know. All right. You said people used to throw it in Olivia's face that Raquel was better than her, and she's jealous Raquel isn't half black. Okay, well, Olivia has already made the comparison herself. Olivia has came on here herself and said basically that she wishes she had what Raquel has. She said that Raquel's marriage gives her hope, basically, that she'll be able to find love one day. All right. Raquel inspired her to go on a celibacy journey. That's what she said. So, I mean, obviously, Olivia thinks, you know, that Raquel carries herself better than she does. And she looks up to her in that regard. But her being jealous that Raquel isn't half black, that is absolutely insane. You said, notice Chrissy never takes those kids on vacation. She always goes along with the man. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Imagine that's what I'm saying about having so many kids. Imagine you want to take your kids to a place so simple as what fuck it, Urban Air. Okay, last time I took my kids to Urban Air, it was like $27 per kid. Okay, and I got 4. So okay, that was over $100. All right, for 4 kids. But 9, everything is just super expensive. That's what I'm saying. Why even be thinking about having a 10? Fuck that. No way. Mm-mm-mm. She can't. She can't. I don't know. I don't know. Chrissy needs to do something. It's unfortunate because she had those kids, so she should be able to take them on vacation. They didn't choose to be here; she chose to bring them here, so she should find a way financially to be able to make it happen for all of them. But it is just too much. Okay, who's buying 9 plane tickets? Who's buying 9 plane tickets? I wouldn't. I can't. I can't afford it. All right. 9 plane tickets, the park admission, taking the kids to Disneyland. Imagine that shit. Oh no. I don't think Chrissy get into a bag like that. Okay, but what she could do is like beach trips, picnics with the kids. She could, something that I really think is cute that I like to do with my kids. The painting with a twist. Okay, we did that a few times. All right, we make hot cocoa in the wintertime and everybody paint together. That's cute. It's things that she could do with her kids that don't really cost a lot of money. And so I think that Chrissy should be doing more of that. I do see that it appears that she cooks good for the kids, so that's great. Um, but I don't know. I just can't see her being able to take all of them on a vacation where they're actually flying out, let alone going out of the country or something like that. It's not going to happen. Kingston's mother says, Chrissy's kids always seem happy though. I don't disagree with you. Her kids don't appear to be unhappy. I think that Chrissy probably is doing her best with what she has, and I don't really think that Chrissy has that much. But she likes to make it look like she has that much. But her kids, it's not really noisy in her background. It seems like she has it under control to a degree. It doesn't appear to be super messy like what we see with these other moms. She does appear to feed them well. So I have nothing to say in that regard. All I'm saying is to have 9 kids, um, and be thinking about a 10th is crazy. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm not about to sit here and say anything bad about her mothering because I don't really know too much about it. Based off of what I seen when I used to watch her, I actually did like Strong Mommy Chrissy at one point in time. But I just think that, well, not even at one point in time. I don't have anything against her now, to be honest with you. But um, I just think that a 10th baby is very unnecessary and very out of control. That's just my opinion. Um, Everyday Life says, poor little AJ didn't even know what a squirrel was. These mammies won't even take them outside. Oh my goodness. Not he didn't know what a squirrel was. Ella Teller said, when is she starting the celibacy journey? So Ella, she did say that she was already on her celibacy journey. Okay, but then right after that, she came out here and said, that she was looking for a 50-year-old white rich man with a yacht. All right. She said she was, on the lookout for that. So I don't know what's going on with Liv. To be honest, I wouldn't put it past her to have found a man in Florida or probably already had somebody lined up from a dating app that she's probably smashing. I don't really believe that Olivia's on a celibacy journey. It just sounds good. Okay. It just sounds good. And she was only saying it because people were calling her out for her hoish ways when it came to the other men that we've seen that she had over at her apartment around the same time that she claims to have had Gerard there. So then, after all that was exposed, then she wanted to come on here and act as if she's changing her life around. She's going to be celibate. She's only focusing on herself and her children. I don't believe that she's really celibate though. Kingston's mother said Chrissy really is getting that bag though because she doesn't really show her kids. Okay, so you think that Chrissy's getting money because she's not dependent on YouTube and she's not like necessarily um, using her kids for content purposes. I mean, I don't know what the lady has. All I'm saying is 9 kids is too damn much. 10 kids is too much, especially when you wind up in the end always having to do it by your lonesome. That's it. That's all. Everyday Life says Chrissy has stretched herself thin. She doesn't show them as much after they kept talking about those kids' appearance. That's something else I really don't know much about. See, years ago, years ago, I used to watch Strong Mommy Chrissy. Every now and then I'll pop in, but I don't really watch her on the regular. I don't. And it's mainly because of her clickbait titles. 9 times out of 10, it's the shit is the thumbnail is clickbait. When you get on it, she winds up when you're watching it, she winds up talking about a whole bunch of shit you don't really care about. And so I don't really watch her to that degree anymore. I did see something about people coming on here talking about how her kids were dressed at the funeral, and that was something that I was not willing to touch. Okay, you guys, there was a lot of talk about her GoFundMe situation and all that. We already had that conversation. So I have been treading lightly and staying away from that topic because I don't believe in speaking about people in a negative manner when they are going through a crisis. Okay, and that was a crisis in my opinion, losing her mother. Kingston's mother says she has 2 channels, so her cooking videos make her the money. She doesn't even post as much as she used to. Oh, okay. Virgo Doll says Chrissy don't show her kids because they be looking a mess. She showed the twins, and they had on high water pants and small coats. Poor kids. Poor kids. Like I said, it's a lot. I couldn't imagine having to go out and buy not. The seasons change. Summertime comes, and you got to get 9 pairs of sneakers, 9 pairs of sandals, 9 pairs of water shoes, fucking at least a week's worth of shorts and shirts, t-shirts for each kid, undergarments, all types of shit. I just can't imagine. I can't even imagine the amount of money that it costs to provide for all of those children. So that's all I have to say on that. That's exactly why I would not be considering having another one. Uh, Everyday Life said these mommies do the most and not enough all at the same time. I agree with you. Virgo Dow says Chrissy makes sure she looks good. That's it. Yes, Chrissy always looks good. Okay. As I said, her nails be done, makeup be done, eyebrows be nice and neat. Hair, she always got a little wig on. It's not always the best wig, but she be looking cute. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like I said, I'm not a hater. I'm not about to see her and you know. But like I said, Chrissy, it's like she has an aesthetic. She wants to look like she's living, in a suburban neighborhood, driving a Tesla. She's perfectly financially stable. She's a wonderful mother, well put together. Everything's great. That's the image that she wants to portray on the internet. We don't really know what's going on in her personal life, but I can imagine that it's not easy. Okay, I just can imagine that it's not. So there's that, you guys. So the bottom line is this, because we can went all the way off topic, started talking about Chrissy and all this other stuff. But listen, you guys, the bottom line is this. I hope that Jasmine has learned something from this situation. I hope that she does not engage any longer with Olivia. I hope that it stays right where it's at as far as, Jasmine coming on here and explaining what happened in court. And that's it. And that's all. All right, because she can do that. She can talk about what happened in court. But now that the shit is over with, let it be over with. I hope that there's no more drama between those two. If Jasmine was smart, she would just act like Olivia is non-existent on the earth. Period. Okay. Virgo Dow says she did herself up for her mama funeral, but we saw how those kids look. Okay. Like I said, Virgo Dow, I'm not even going to speak on that. I don't know what that lady got going on. That was her mother's funeral. That's how she chose to bring her kids. That's her business. You said Jasmine is slow. Give it 3 months. She's going to claim her and Olivia friends again. Child, that would be insanity. That would be insane. But you know what? I don't put it past her. Jasmine is looking for some sort of content. So I do believe that even after all this, Jasmine would come back on here and still go back and forth with Olivia. I do think that she would. Just to get her views up. Just to get her views up. That's what I think. But that's pretty much it, you guys. It was nice coming on here having a conversation with you all about that. There's not much more to be said about it. The shit with the court is old. Okay, it should have never even got that far. So at the end of the day, I am glad that Jasmine, is not going to have anything on her record. I'm glad that it's over with. Congratulations to her. Bottom line. Everyday Life says Jazz is slow enough to be cool with her again, and I agree with you guys. All right, but listen, that concludes my reaction and the conversation that we're going to have on Jasmine and Olivia tonight. I appreciate all of you for coming and hopping on to my live. All right, but before we go, I'm going to ask you to please hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Comment your thoughts down below if you have not done so already. All right, and also hit the subscribe button too if you have not already done so. Okay, and until next time, I will see you all later. Have a good night. Bye bye.